screen here, what I've just turned on here is something called the microwave background imagery from the MIMIC TPW out of the University of Wisconsin. And this normally shows total precipitation or total precipitable water vapor in the different storm systems around the planet. And it's derived from microwave satellite imagery. And what you're going to see on the screen here is not a storm of any kind that we would normally think of storm forming wise, like precipitation and water. What this is a planetary disturbance of some kind of global shockwave of some kind of energy that is working along the same bandwidth that the satellite is detecting it. The microwave background imagery at like 35 gigahertz or some large amount, very high up in the electromagnetic spectrum. Observing this water vapor is detecting an energy return. This is not a glitch. This is not a computer error. We've seen this happen before, but on a much smaller scale. And when I say smaller scale, I shouldn't say it's too small. We've seen this happen before with X-class solar flares, but nothing like what you're seeing on the screen here now. And let me just show you guys really quick, okay? So we're over here, and let me take you over and show you something from my website, okay? Now, keep in mind, we're looking at the MIMIC TPW right now. I'm going to open up a new screen, and you guys are welcome to search it this way as well. Search MIMIC TPW Dutch Sense Solar. And what you're going to find is a few posts that I put out over the past few years where, when a solar flare is happening, a Earth-directed X solar flare, for instance, that hits Earth, takes like 2 to 3 days to actually emit those charged particles, and then they come to Earth. It takes a couple days to get here. When the charged particles arrive, what you're going to see on the screen here, and hopefully you guys can hear me and see me here. Okay? See this? Okay, the wave of energy hits. That's the X-class flare, taking 2 days to arrive on the planet. There it is, zap. Then we start to have what's called missing data, which is a white area that'll show up. The reason we even used this system to begin with was back when we were doing HAARP research and radio frequency research, specifically in the microwave bands, that we were using this to observe man-made systems such as radar systems, high-powered ship systems that are out in the oceans.
So this person does this. He does this. He researches HAARP systems and man-made systems. So before you say, oh man, this is some man-made phenomenon, this must be CERN or HAARP, just comprehend that you're dealing with somebody who does this, who studies HAARP, CERN, and man-made projects, man-made, anomalies. But what are you tripping about now, Mr. Man? Love to Dutch Sense. Go subscribe, man. And we talking energy waves. You're talking vibration. This is the frequency of our Creator, Ancient Knowledge and True Chronology, Part 8. And we're digging on energy waves, man.
Observing those, using this system unintentionally. It's not an intentional use for it. The only reason it shows up, it's interferometry. It's interfering. There is a microwave signal on the same bandwidth emitted by the sun when the solar flare occurs. The charged particles hit the atmosphere, cause a reflection on the same bandwidth, and that's what causes this. And this was back from 2015, just one example. Okay? But we get over and take a look at the microwave background imagery for today, and you saw the X-class flare. This is so much bigger, so much more powerful. So it's way more powerful than an X-class flare hitting the Earth. And the reason it's taking this S shape across the Earth isn't because it's S shape. It's actually going around the whole planet at once within an hour or two of each other. This reverberation...
Is it going around the planet? Or is there a projection projecting this curving, wave? Is this going around a ball? Is this circling around your ball? While you circle at 1,100 miles per hour and hurl through space at 60,000 miles per hour? Is that what's going on? You chasing this big, gigantic sun thing? Or is it all coming through you, in circuit, around you? This makes more sense going through a plane, an energy wave. He's going to describe it as like it's dragging its feet across the carpet of the earth. Well, the carpet is flat. So he has to use a flat plane scenario to even describe this, because you can't really describe this keeping this particular pattern while this earth is spinning at 1100 miles per hour. Then this pattern can't really, work out if this earth has its own pattern spinning on a wobble, hurling through a vacuum. Alright, so get out the mind of a hijack, dodge the hijack, and see this for what it is. Planet is plane, a plane. Etymology, flat, spread out. Shamayim, spread out. Let's go.
Happened last night, going up to 3 hours ago, and it probably is still going on right now. And you can see the wave shape that it's taking as it's going across the whole planet. Both sides of the planet are being hit at the same time, letting you know it's affecting the whole planet. And the amount of energy on this, I want you to think about this. A wave of energy that's returning on the 35 gigahertz microwave background imagery, ultra high frequency, beyond ultra high frequency. And it's showing up across the whole planet.
Beyond ultra high? So he's putting it beyond CERN, beyond HARP, beyond anything man-made if it's beyond ultra high. Let's think, so-called Negro. What is ultra high? The most high. We're talking about the frequency of our Creator. We're talking about energy waves.
All at once. The amount of energies associated with that. For instance, a NexRad radar putting out a powerful microwave signal at 2.7 gigahertz. Okay, microwave, not ultra-high microwave, but microwave. From, let's say, one of the states in the United States. All right? One of those is putting out 750,000 watts of power, and it doesn't even show up as a blip on this thing. So, we're talking about large amounts of energy that would take to perform this amount of interference on the NexRad, or on the microwave background imagery that we're seeing here. And the NexRad example I just gave you is a perfect example, because 750,000 watts is a tremendous amount of power radio frequency-wise. It's enough to cover a whole state or two states region. So when you're talking about this, getting excited to the level that it's being excited over such a vast area, the energy potential has to go somewhere. So the electricity associated with that, let me dumb it down.
So this has to go somewhere. We're trying to figure out, where is it going, so-called Negro? Is it affecting your sunken lands? Is it affecting, the mother, the earth? Is it affecting the seed, the sprouting seed? What's going on? They're asking questions. They don't have answers. They're like, what the fuck? You're going to see him about to start freaking out. He's going to say, let me dumb it down, man, because I'm freaking out, man.
So the electricity associated with that, let me dumb it down for everybody. Even a kid can understand this. There's a lot of electricity associated with this wave as it's scuffing its feet across the carpet of the earth. Have you ever scuffed your feet across the carpet on a dry day and you store up electrons in your body and then you go touch the doorknob? Or if you want to play a joke on your spouse or your sister or brother or whatever, you go touch them on the ear and you zap them, right? With that little amount of scuffing across the carpet. Well, the same thing happens on a much more vast scale with the Earth and charged particles. And as particles scuff their feet across the atmosphere or the upper ionosphere or the magnetosphere, that actually scrapes the electrons out and pulls them down to ground. And instead of shocking your hand on the doorknob, that electricity goes down to the core of the Earth and shocks the core of the Earth. And
or shocks the so-called Negro. Let's go.
Energy potential on that is huge. Now, I don't want to get into conspiracy. I don't want to get into crazy talk. I don't want to talk about all the stuff that people have been talking about online recently. This is the biggest dang coincidence in the world, if it is a coincidence. And I'm not willing to discount coincidence. But, look, guys, there's a giant wave hitting the Earth right now, showing up on the microwave background imagery, and you really got to wonder, what is causing it? It's not a glitch. Is it a practical joke?
Damn.
You know what I mean?
Is it a practical joke? This person does this shit. Studies anomalies, magnetic, meteor detectors. We're about to get into meteor detectors. We're about to get into some crystal drop, man, with the Dr. Emoto. Man, we're going to get into some chronology, back to the failures of the modern chronology, back to the flamenco, Anatoly. Is this a game, he's saying? Are you fucking with me? Is what he's saying. Now imagine, you know what I'm saying, Michael Jordan being on the court, he goes out to hoop one day, and he comes out and he's like, yo, is this a joke? I mean, somebody's dunking from the 3-point line, man. Somebody's knocking down threes from the other side of the court. This ain't even basketball no more, man. I mean, you know what I'm saying? What game is this? What part of the game is this? This is what is coming out of someone who does this. This is what they're telling you about this energy wave.
Imagery, and you really got to wonder, what is causing it? It's not a glitch. Is it a practical joke? You know what I mean? Did one of the people at Mimic watch one of, BP's videos, and you know what I mean? And they're like, oh, we'll make a joke, we'll put it on there, and they put it on there, and they're sitting there laughing right now. I hope scientists don't do that, but this is something that we have to watch. Okay, we have to watch out for what? What we have to watch out for.
We have to watch out for the hijack. I mean, what are you, upside down on your ball? You're spinning while this thing is scuffing across the carpet of a spinning ball while it's hurling on a wobble in a vacuum with everything upside down and right side up. Which way is up? Which way is up on your ball? To this person, this is up. To this person, that is up. Most High said, all you will see the return. The return of the frequency. All of you will see it. Which way is up? Where's your heaven? Everywhere. Everywhere is your heaven. Your orientation is screwed up. You're spinning. And this is why. A couple more minutes.
The potential of a large earthquake. If, and this is an if, I have to be willing to discount this as some kind of thing that's not going to have an effect. But if it were to have an effect, look at the amount of energy associated with that. If that did have energy associated.
If it has an effect, this is an enormous effect. And this is back in 2016. Yeah, man, we're going to get up to date. Don't you trip.
With it, the amount would be huge. The amount of microwave energy combined to total that. So if that would, let me put it in perspective. Let's say there was a man-made system of some kind of new ultra harp.
New ultra harp. So he's already thought about the harp game. He's thought about the CERN game. He's been studying this. He says, man, this is ultra high frequencies. This is most high above the barrier type of stuff. Now let's play a game and think that there's a ultra harp. Then what?
It's a man-made system of some kind of new ultra harp. They don't have it, but let's just say they made it, and they made some new breakthrough in radio frequency.
Man.
And it emitted a giant pulse that was equivalent to 20 trillion megawatts of radio frequency power. That would cook everything around it for miles, and that energy would go to ground. And I dare say it would probably cause an earthquake. If it was a man-made system, just doing it over like a country or something. But this is over the whole planet. Will it have a reverberation effect of some kind? A resonance effect? Will it excite the core of the earth? I don't know. This is all new. I've never seen anything like it before. In 7 years of watching, I've seen all kinds of stuff on the Mimic. All kinds of stuff. Never seen anything like this before.
I've seen everything. I've never seen anything like this before. He keeps talking about this thing scraping across a planet, and you are the one that's going to have to look at this English spell and say, well, when did this T get put after plane to become planet? If it started with plane, if we started with a planeta, if we started with pele, meaning flat, to spread, on the notion of spread out, then the etymology of planet, you're talking wandering stars, you're talking flat, you're talking spread out, is a ball flat and spread out. You're getting the etymology of plane, to make, devious, repel, dissuade from the right path. So something about this planet, this sign they're putting on the end of plane is making it devious, repelling, dissuading you from the right path, bewildered. We're talking about to make devious, repel, dissuade from the right path, bewilder. So called because the apparent motion, just like Giannini said, there is no motion of these particular, isolated globular bodies, but it's an apparent isolated, apparent separated situation. When we talk about these fixed stars, we're talking planes, planetos, planes, plane, a plane. Planet is plane. Planet is flat to spread out. Oh yeah, man, you can keep going. You can keep going because it's all going to come back to plane, plane, plane. Boss the plane. We're just talking plain day, plain die, wandering. I just want you to, make sure we dig this in because you're going to keep hearing planet. And just know, in etymology, we have flat to spread. We have making devious. Who's making devious? Who's taking away the meaning of flat and spread and turning it into a spinning ball? Now we know that. We know that, right? So what else do we got? That's 2016 energy waves. Again, this person that does this is saying,
will it excite the core of the Earth? I don't know. This is all new. I've never seen anything like it before. In 7 years of watching, I've seen all kinds of stuff on the Mimic. All kinds of stuff. Never seen anything like this before.
Never. Okay. Y'all go check out Dutch Sense. Let's go. Now let's go to June 13th. Matter of fact, let's go one before this. I want to do the one right before this one. Let's see. Yeah, check out Mr. MBB333. Alright, so we're going to fast forward to this month. That was 6 months ago. And let's check out this month. Now you see this cat, he does it, man. These are meteor detectors. He has similar joints here. He has the meteor detector machine. So we're learning all about technology today, man. Now let's check out the waves in upper atmosphere. Waves, energy waves. Again, this is somebody who does this. Let's see what they think about this wave. Now you saw the one in 6 months ago. What's continuing today?
This thing's going black. Look at that. Look at the waves. Look at that instrument. It's going black. See those lines? Those are waves. This is highly unusual. Look at that. Those are waves. I'm just documenting this, guys. This is very unusual. I don't know what kind of waves. That's the only way I know how to describe it. That's what it reminds me of, waves. It's very inconsistent. It's some sort of a strange pattern. Look at that. It doesn't even sound right. I'm just saying this is odd. And this one's going almost black. In fact, it is going black. Gotta go, guys. Just a quick update. This is very unusual. Don't know what it means.
I don't know what it means, so you tell me what it means. I mean, tell them what it means. They're asking you, what does it mean? What does this mean? Hold up. Let's go back. We're going to get the one from June 13th. Yeah, let's go. June 13th, man. What's that, yesterday? Yesterday, man. Let's go. Energy, frequency, vibration.
Seeing this anomaly again. It's creating an unusual sound.
An unusual sound.
Hey, Hey, Gabrielle. Hey, Curious. Hey, Trish. That right there's a classic meteor. I don't know what this is.
They also don't know what classic meteors are. They just name everything meteor, 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 and all these things could be angelic energies coming in and out. You just call them meteors because that's the signature. So, oh, that's a classic meteor signature. Can you confirm that's a random space rock? Or could this be an angelic energy? And he doesn't know what all this energy is, so do you really know what this energy is?
It's been doing it for about 5 minutes, and I was hesitant to even go live, and about the time I did, it subsided. But it's intermittent now. It's trying to come back again.
Belly flop. Now look at these waves, 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 waves. He's going to compare it to a blind, like, you know, the blinds in your kitchen, the blinds in your house. So this is not normal, all right? That's why they're freaking out. The other cat was freaking out. He's freaking out.
I don't know if you can get this on your phone or not. To be honest, I've never tried. I know, we're dealing with sinus issues out here. Whatever we're inhaling through our nose is not agreeing with us at all. Here it is again over here, look. It's like louvers. Look at that.
It looks like the blinds in your kitchen. So before it was kind of a longer interval. Now it's like bang, 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 bang. And no one knows what this is. Now you got the one from 6 months ago. They showed you on a whole different system, the mimic system, whatever they called it. This is a meteor detector system. You're learning about technology, and you're seeing energy waves that are unexplained. Except, I mean, they're coming at such high, ultra high frequencies. How high you want to go till you get to the most high, till you get above the barrier. Everything above the barrier, they look at as, you know, something so unusual, so peculiar. You are a peculiar people picking up a peculiar sound.
For some reason, this one has about a minute delay. It's like louvered blinds. Right on. Look at that. This is nuts. I don't know, guys. I wish I could tell you. I don't know what it has to do with. I know we've been in a debris field for days.
Yeah, you're going to try to explain it now.
I know we've been in a debris field for days. I don't know, guys. I wish I could tell you. I don't know what it has to do with.
I don't know. So, If no one knows, are we free to theorize, hypothesize, dig on it a little bit? All right, man. I want to jump right back into this. I want to get this little segment right here again. Now, I want you to listen, because it's all about the listening of the sound, listening to the sound, listening to each other. No one has to, deal with no hijack. But when it comes to your brothers, when it comes to your sisters, and when it comes to those that are truly, walking through that door, we have to listen. And when it comes to the sound, we have to listen.
When we hear, we either accept or reject, or we translate what we hear according to our knowledge, our background, or we compare what is being said to what is already known, or we oppose one idea by another. All these characteristics of hearing denies the act of listening. When one listens, there is no comparison, there is no acceptance or rejection. That very act of listening brings about a total attention in which you see the totality and the whole significance and structure of what is being said. The quality of listening is attention. And when you attend totally, with your whole mind, with your heart, with your nerves, with your eyes and ears completely, intensely listen, and you give your whole attention to something, that is when you are completely listening. In that state of attention, there is the act of listening. And that act of listening puts away anything that is not true. You listen to the totality of the thing. When you attend, there is no borders of inattention. And that act of listening is really a miracle. Perhaps it's the greatest miracle. When one can listen totally, without any defense, without any barrier, then one can look, then one can listen. Look, sir, if I want to understand what you are saying, I listen to you. I listen to you with affection, with care, with attention. I find out what you're saying. This before, or something new which is impossible, you're not listening.
One of the most intriguing discoveries in modern science is the fact that there is nothing in this world that even approaches what might be called truly solid. We speak of solids, liquids, and gases. But these terms describe superficial rather than basic properties of matter. All matter, regardless of its state, is composed of invisible particles called atoms, which in turn are composed of other particles. The air we breathe, though invisible to us, is just as real as wood or metal, because it's made of the same fundamental particles. It is the arrangement of these particles and the forces that bind them together that give to a substance its special properties. If we bring a piece of steel close to a magnet, we say that the steel becomes magnetized. But what is it that actually happens? If we place the steel inside a coil of wire connected to a high-gain amplifier, and then bring the magnet close to the bar of steel, we can hear something that suggests movement inside the steel. Listen. We think of a piece of steel as being solid, and according to our definition, it is a solid. But the popular concept of what makes a solid is certainly a false one. This piece of steel, and any so-called solid substance on this earth, is almost entirely empty space. If we could eliminate the empty space in this piece of steel, all that would remain would be a tiny bit of matter, so small as to be invisible even with a high-power microscope. This concept of almost unlimited empty space within matter is comparatively new, but it is the very cornerstone of our knowledge in this atomic age. Atoms are not solid. Instead, they are tiny solar systems composed of infinitely small particles revolving at tremendous speeds and bound together by enormous forces. And like our solar system, atoms are almost entirely empty space.
Empty space. So what they do is they give you this abstraction of this isolated illusion of these global or isolated bodies, and it's all this empty outer space, and all they're really doing is telling you what's within you. That space is within you. When you watch Men in Black, and you know what I'm saying, you see them hinting to the fact that you are this, space or whatever, you know what I'm saying. Atoms are empty space. And if everything's constructed of empty space, then how much is thought, sound, creating? How much do your thoughts create? What do your thoughts sound like? You're in mostly empty space. You are comprised mostly of what they're calling empty space. We call it the breath, the secure breath. That which forms you, the water you're swimming in.
For the moment, let's forget the forces within the atom. Thinking only of the particles and the empty space around them, science knows no reason why I couldn't take this so-called solid steel bottle and just throw it right on through that wall. Except this, we've tried it and it hasn't worked. If I were to attempt to run through that wall right now, all I'd get for my trouble would be a good-sized lump on the head. But that which would prevent my body passing through the wall would not be a collision of particles, but rather a collision of forces. The same forces that make an atom bomb. And if it were not for these forces, my body could go freely back and forth through that wall, just as though it were not there. It is within the realm of scientific possibility that there could be two worlds coexistent, occupying the same part of space at the same moment of time.
The same part of space at the same moment in time. Two worlds coexisting. Different frequencies. You have to choose up and choose your reality.
Each world just as real as the other, with its mountains, valleys, rivers, trees, and people.
Bang.
And that one world could pass freely through the other world, neither world being conscious of the existence of the other world, if you grant just one thing. Atomic forces within the material substance of these two worlds that are not mutually interacting. What do we mean by this?
So atomic forces that are not mutually interacting, so they're on different frequencies. And when you're on different frequencies, you're not interacting with those other particles and such. You can have two worlds on top of each other, or multiple dimensions happening on the same plane of existence at higher frequencies, which is when you keep your, you don't have to say commandments. When you say commandments, you're speaking English, man. When you say law, you're speaking English. Say it in a pure water, you know what I'm saying? This is reality. When you step into reality, When you keep reality, then you're in that reality. The Most High gives you reality. We'll be back in that paleo, and you'll comprehend that all we're talking is life, reality. Treating your brother right, not putting another power before your power is reality. Vibrating, having a checkpoint that you can come and have that peace of mind and have that weapon. The Sabbath is a weapon, not against you, for you, but if you don't use it, it's against you. It's a cut-off day. It's the 7th letter in the Hebrew alphabet. You got the Zayin, 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 Zayin. That's the nourishment, the food. You must get your food on the 7th day. Numbers ain't lying to you. On that 7th cutoff day, you must be nourished. This is your reality. When you choose it, you can choose another frequency. But you see how that's working out, right?
With its mountains, valleys, rivers, trees, and people. And that one world could pass freely through the other world, neither world being conscious of the existence of the other world, if you grant just one thing. Atomic forces within the material substance of these two worlds that are not mutually interactive. What do we mean by this? Let's see. Here are two pieces of steel. Their appearance is quite similar. But a magnet will reveal a basic internal difference between the two pieces. This one, of course, is picked up. But this one is unaffected. This piece of steel is non-magnetic, stainless steel. Of course, we all know that other metals, such as brass or aluminum, are not affected by the magnet. But a ring made of aluminum is something else. It can be suspended in air by the electromagnetic force of what is actually a transformer. The ring being in effect a one-turn shorted secondary. A smaller ring will react even more violently. Here is another ring. This one made of a material we say is non-conductive. And it is completely unaffected. Here is another example. Several thousand watts of power were involved in that spark. If we replace the spark gap with a copper coil, the same power now flows through the coil. It's invisible, has no effect on many substances, but it can generate a lot of heat. Wood, paper, things that we think of as being quite inflammable are not affected at all. However, a piece of steel wool bursts into flame instantly. Did you ever fry an egg on a cold stove? It's no trick at all if you have the right equipment. This is a cold hot plate. And because it's cold, you can make it out of wood, if you like. Just be sure that there's a coil of wire inside and that you connect that coil to a high voltage alternating current source. The rest is easy. As long as we're being different, we'll use motor oil instead of Cuzco. The egg fries very quickly, but the stove remains perfectly cold. In fact, if you wish to keep it handy, you can fry your egg on the morning newspaper.
Bam. All right, man. So the magnetized, atomic situation is happening with what's affecting those particular magnets when the brass and all that is not affected by the same particles, by the same charge. It's about the charge. It's about the energy. It's about the frequency it's in that makes it affected. So you're not affected by that which is outside of your frequency, or, beneath the order of your frequency. When you choose the order, you choose the frequency, those things that would have magnetized you before can't touch you. When you're in your frequency, you're not magnetized, you're not charged up by bullshit. When you're in the frequency of this illusion, man, you might as well be this egg on this pan. You being fried up. You in the pot, you the frog in the pot. They turning it up, you boiling. But you just been boiling for so long, man, you forgot what it felt like not to be boiling. So you stay right there, man. And they're heating it up on you. They're heating it up on all of us. We got a piece of this modern chronology. Let's get back into the medieval empire of the Israelites. Love to the family, love to Drive Nation. You know what I'm saying? You guys supplied such wonderful links, that we can all tie together. So, love to all the family who's dropping all these beautiful links. Let's go. Features of failures of the modern chronology. We got in for the Manco. We're in the true chronology. So, I know we're getting real scientific. We're going to continue, but we're going to go down the chronology path. As we're talking about order, as we're talking about being charged up and magnetized, let's see how, what's the proper order of the actual events. It's one thing to be out of order, with your walk, with your path. If your path is out of order, you're trying to put it back together. So this is a big part in walking down a straight path, is putting our chronology back together and, at least asking these questions and meditating on them. So what are the failures of the modern chronology? All right, the authentic, uncontrived history of Judaism has been hidden from us by a wall of legends and myths, which have come to assume, with the passage of time, the appearance of rigorous, scientifically factual authority. Therefore, before one can reconstruct it, it is necessary to understand the actual condition of modern historiography. In this endeavor, the research of those scientists who can regard it critically may help us greatly, but there have been few such scientists throughout the centuries. But most of all, it is not our place to recall that the ancient history known to us today is a written history. That is, a history based on written documents. There are also other sources, drawings in rocks or pyramids, stelas, or tombs, oral traditions, maps, coins, objects of cult and family life, but they take on meaning only after they are connected to the written evidence of the past. So they use these so-called written documents that have been hijacked to try to then fit everything into them instead of using the concrete. They do it backwards. When history tells us that Alexander the Great conquered half the world, this only means that it is written thus in the sources which have come down to us, and nothing more. With respect to this, we unfortunately do not have a chronicle written by the Macedonians, contemporaries, and witnesses to the events involved. We have in our hands literary accounts, legends, and tales created many centuries after the military leader. So we don't have anything concrete on Alexander the Great, which is when we were linking up some of this story with the Prester John story. Then, we're looking at all these scenarios that have been almost like, we'll put this particular image of King David and call it this. We'll put this particular image of King David and call it that. So now you got the Khans and the Alexanders and the this and that. You got the King Arthurs and the Camelots and all this having to do with the Sylvanus, Toltec, Solomon the Builder. We're going to get back on this Toltec and this Aztec and these Israelite empires after the breaking of the Solomon Empire when Solomon died. What happened? The empire was divided. Now you have Sylvanus, Toltexas rolling up, or Theodorus, Ame'rican, Nehemiah rolling up on Sylvanus, Toltexas, and it's like they both appear to be Israelites, and all this is happening in the 700s. And is this, a sneak peek of a layer being uncovered of what's happening really in the 700s? Did the real King Solomon actually die in the 700s? And did the kingdom get divided in the 700s? And Calais was being fought for in the 700s? And now you have the wars between northern and southern tribes happening in the 700s, right here in America, right here in Calais with Theodorus and Sylvanus, Toltexus. After his passing, now you have all these wars, and then they get sent back to Europe under the protection of the Russes. So why would they protect them unless they were Israelites and conquered by Israelites, and they were still protected from heathen? This stuff is being uncovered through the Forbidden History series, through all the stuff that we're dropping, through what you're dropping, man, including this, Doc. With respect to this, we unfortunately do not have the chronicle written by the Macedonian contemporaries and witnesses of the events involved. We have in our hands literary accounts, legends, tales created many centuries after the military leader. How authentic they are, no one knows, and unfortunately will never know. Undoubtedly, some kind of reality lies at the heart of the written document. However, one and the same real event can be have been reflected in several different manuscripts and reflected very differently. Some time between these differences can be so great that at first glance it is impossible to believe that these two descriptions of it before us record one and the same event. Remember how they took the same king, split them up, gave them different names, dropped them off 300 years, 1,000 years, 1,800 years. That's what the Russian chronographers are coming up. Anatoly. We've been digging on it. Moreover, one and the same hero of a story can be mentioned several times under various names. Who is Prester John, Priest King? We're talking titles. Who is Quetzalcoatl? We're talking titles. Who are the Khans? We're talking titles. Ame'rican. You see, in antiquity, people often had many names, nicknames, and titles. Many of what we now consider to have been names were titles. Khan, Genghis Khan, Priest King, Prester John. In fact, even David is a title because they kept the Davidic name. They were all Davids. Even Solomon was a David. In actual fact, are magnificent adjectives of the type brilliant, purple-nosed, great, and the like, as recorded on the pages of various manuscripts. Real people were sometimes even assigned new names differing from those by which their contemporaries also knew them. So they're like, I don't know him as that, but you know him as this. This may have been the coincidence or the consequence of mistakes, confusion, and incorrect translations of text, or straight up deception, straight up illusion, straight up hijack. It is necessary to speak essentially about incorrect translations. These often play a decisive role in the comprehension of the legends and sacred books. One of the most typical examples is the central event of the Old Testament, the exodus of the Israelites from Egypt. In the first 5 books of Moses, it states in Hebrew that the Israelites crossed the Reed Sea, not the Red Sea. Now they say, oh, that's the Red Sea over here, see? Well, where's the Reed Sea? It's right here in the Americans. Not the Reed Sea, not the Red Sea, the Reed Sea, as it is incorrectly translated by modern Bibles, Biblios, and other languages. If one suspends the question of whether, in fact, there had ever been an exodus from Egypt at all. So, okay, let's just assume that this migration happened. Let's rock with Horace Butler. Let's rock with, you know what I'm saying? Let's rock with, you know what I'm saying, what we truly believe, right? It's not hard to believe that you were free from bondage. It's not hard to believe that you've been put in captivity. So whatever you call Exodus, Egypt, whatever you call these titles in this English spell, you were free from bondage, and your creator is that which frees you. Your frequency is that which frees you. And examine the possibility of this having happened critically, then the conclusions which follow from this undo the account. You see, a reed has never grown, and no reed will ever grow in salty seawater. Oh, well, maybe you got to put it over here in fresh water. Consequently, the Israelites, when they were saved from Pharaoh's pursuing troops, crossed not a sea, but some kind of huge swamp in which the heavy chariots of the enemy got stuck and sank. Well, now you could put that with the cliches. According to the cliches, they followed who they call Balaam Keats. They followed their chief with a staff that parted the water from the water, and they crossed at the bottom, at the base of this water, and they, came back into their councils, their 3 councils after that, and their tribes, there's 7 tribes here. Then It remains to be established where this might have been located. So it's yet to be established where it might have been located. Now we bring in Horace Butler's work, documenting this crossing in the Yucatan of Mexico and South America, documenting our four corners, what we call Udon, Hawauda, inasmuch as in the desolate Sinai there were not. Yeah, they're on the wrong side of the plain and can hardly have been very many significant reed beds. But you recon reed beds in America and they'll pop up all over the place. So what they're kind of dancing around is that they had the wrong location the whole time. This is the old world here, and you don't think these people have flipped it on you? You don't think they told you you're spinning when you're not? What do you think that does when you're subconsciously spinning 1100 miles per hour for the rest of your life? How will you ever have one still moment if you think you're spinning on a ball at 1100 miles per hour for the rest of your life? You'll never be firm, you'll never be fixed, you'll never be still, you'll never be movable. You don't think they told you west is east when east is west and north is south when south is north? Come on, man. You don't think they told you that you're in the new world when you're in the old world? Incorrect translations made most likely knowing are not exposed to doubt anywhere, and the overwhelming majority of Christians are not suspicious of them. It is very important to note that over the centuries, names, both the geographic features and those by which peoples called themselves, changed their meanings. One and the same word came in various historical eras to denote entirely different ideas. Moreover, many geographical names were moved around the map. They became fixed only with the advent of printing, like Ethiopia. Ethiopia was not a place until it suddenly got fixed only with the advent of printing. Before that, it was Abyssinia, just referring to a distant region of dark people. So-called dark, right? We're speaking English. Of melanated people. This region of melanated people, wherever it was Ethiopia. It only became a fixed place later with the advent of printing. Now it's on the map. Bang. When it became possible to produce many identical copies of one and the same map, once the names had floated around the maps, their significance became nearly nil. Significant difficulties accompany attempts of correct geographic localization of many ancient events. For example, Naples, that is Newtown in translation, is presented in the ancient chronicles in several different, seemingly different guises. Naples in Italy, which exists even today. Carthage in translation also means Newtown. Naples in Palestine, the Scythian Naples, and so on. Today, it is assumed that the well-known ancient Babylon was located in modern Mesopotamia. However, some medieval texts adhere to a contrary opinion. For example, the well-known Serbian Alexandria places Babylon and Egypt. Places Babylon and Egypt. Places Babylon and Egypt. Which one? In that same place, i.e. in Egypt, Alexander the Great supposedly died, although according to today's version, this happened in Mesopotamia. The titles and names in the ancient texts quite often were used without vocalizations, that is, without vowels, only in the form of a skeleton of consonants, and this relates not only to Hebrew. With the passage of time, the vowels were forgotten and blurred into other vowels. As a result, the most diverse vocalizations arose, which radically changed the meaning of the text. So what they put that, Masoretic, those diacritic marks and all that kind of stuff, and put these vowels in, now it opened it up to many interpretations. So if you're getting an ideology, whether it's, this camp said this, and this said this, and this said this, and all this said this, you're in somebody's head. You have to search it out. You have to surf the wave. Therefore, the interpretation of the written document on hand was and remains arbitrary. There are few who know this besides specialists, and if it is not being changed today before our eyes, then it only is because it has been fixed in historic works owing to tradition and authority of prominent historians. The most serious problems are connected with the chronology, The majority of modern dating methods are based on the principle of the comparison of a given document with the data, the dating of which is considered already well known. At the heart of this lies the Roman or Romani, remember Roma, India, Romani, India, Roman, hijack, chronology. As is well known, contemporary American chronologist Elias Bickerman writes, all ancient chronology datings can be linked to our calendar via direct or indirect synchronisms with the Roman dates. And we got this before, how Flamenco breaks down these Roman dates and this chronology and how it lines up with other dynastic, kingdoms. So you have all these duplicates, all these phantoms, different names, different places. Today's version of chronology of antiquity goes back to the works of Joseph Scaliger. This is a big part of your hijack chronology, man. Scaliger and Petavius, 1540 to 1606, and Dionysius Batavia, 1583 to 1652. Huge time of hijack. What happened to you during this time? You were invaded. 1452, dumb Diversas, Papal bulls subjugate all of these Negroes. Put them all in perpetual forever slavery. Subjugate all the melanated kingdom of Israel. However, as Elias Bickerman notes, there has been no chronological research ever conducted that could be exhaustive and confirming to modern standards. Therefore, it would be more correct to call the chronology accepted today the Scaliger Petavius version. And this version was not the only one. Elias Bickerman generally speaks with regret about the chaos of medieval dating, because this is when it all happened. This medieval period is dumb Diversas 1452, is the takeover. Your Israelite kingdom just got taken down. They did this in 1452 and then took out the Byzantine Empire in 1453. Now you can relate your Ruses and your Picts. Now you can relate your Israelite kingdom, whether it's in Europe, whether it's in Russia, whether it's, the Kremlin, whatever we're talking about, all the way back to Pickland here, all the way back to Kalalus and Hawiku and Cibola, Shimbala here, all the way back to Udall here in the Yucatan here. At the heart of the chronology is laid the interpretation of numerical reports collected in the Bible and the astronomical calendar calculations, the errors of which at that time they still weren't unable to appreciate. And the significance of these errors is sometimes huge, in the hundreds and even thousands. Moreover, the secular chronology, which arose later, is based fully on the church chronology. Get out of the time and mind of hijacks and wake up. Thus, Elias Bickerman notes, the Christian historians have made a secular chronography serve ecclesial history. Bickerman, Elias, Chronology of Ancient World, London, 1969. So yeah, they fit it into their ecclesial history. They've put phantoms and they put duplicates. And you get some more here, man. They're going to, start digging down on the chronology. They're going to dig down on this, what they call it, the failures of modern chronology. Now let's keep it pushing, man. So we touched on this before with Dr. Emoto. And I really want to, we're just talking the frequency of our Creator. We're talking ancient knowledge and true chronology. Why put these together? Because they unlock very similar layers. When you put your time, when you put yourself out of space and time, when you take yourself out of this matrix, off the clock, when you look at these energy waves that are hitting you, not just the earth, why would they just be hitting the earth if the earth was made for you? If you're a Dom, they're hitting Edom, a Dom. They're waking it up, man. It's wakey time, man. So we all just digging on it now. What is it doing? It's crystallizing you. What are these energy patterns doing? They're crystallizing you. What does music have to do with this? What does your music business and your radio and that 440 frequency have to do with this? What does that have to do with chronology? What does that have to do with energy waves and meteor detectors? Surf the Wave, Masaru, Emoto, Hado, Water Crystals, full documentary. Let's get a few minutes, make a dismount. Love to y'all. Tribe Nation, tribe up.
Water, circulating the earth and nurturing the soil, is the source of all life forms on this planet. But there is a side of water that has gone unexplored until now. Dr. Masaru Emoto of IHM General Institute has studied water for many years. Through his research, he has come up with an innovative new way to capture the essence of water. Based on his work, he has published a collection of photographs entitled Messages from Water.
僕の、学級的なベースというのは、いわゆる自然科学ではありません。純文科学です。
Academically, my study is not based on the natural sciences, but on the cultural sciences. I got y'all. I know y'all working out. I know you getting it. I know you working. You doing something, man. You can't look at the screen right now. You listening. I got you, man. I got you. I got you. Let's go.
その私がなぜ、このような技法を編み出したこと。
How I was able to come up with this such method is a mystery, even to me. But Hawa, let's get it.
なかなか自分でも不思議なんですが、いわゆる従来
traditional science with its conventional reasoning.
科学の凝り固まった考え方では、この見えない世界、水とか
wasn't enough to enter the world of the unseen like water and hado.
波動だとか、そういう世界には入れなかった。たまたまそこにそういう方面では素人の私
and I, a novice, happened to be there.
がいた、素人ものにおじずに入ってこれた。
My fearlessness allowed me to jump in. This is a great point as we dig on this paleo. Fearlessness. As we dig on this paleo. Make sure we can get it. All right. Man, because when you deal with this strong, powerful leader, this energy wave that's hitting you, and you dig on your paleo, and you realize these 22 letters are telling you stories in different dimensions about you, future, past, everything. When you're talking about the earth and the energy waves, this power is hitting the earth. They can't even read it. It's ultra high level. It's ultra hard. It's ultra CERN. It's something that no one's ever even fathomed before, the amount of power that's hitting the earth, going into this tent, this floor plan, this bayette, this family, this house, this tent. I stretch it out, shamayim, like a tent. Rakwa, I beat it out. The expanse of the sky and spread it out like a tent. So what's the floor plan of the tent? That the power is entering the tent. Now, when this power enters your home with your family, or when this power enters your temple, your body, which is your house, these are all stories, and you can continue down any of those paths, letter by letter, and get the fullness of what the Creator has left for you. So, we're just talking the power entering the house. Now, when this power enters your house, what must you do? You must walk. You must gather. Oh, like a camel, you can traverse many deserts to get to the water. You can carry whatever burden you have to carry to get through the door, the dialect. It says movement, tent door, movement. You have to move, walk, gather through that door. Enter, all right? The door. Hold up. You must get through the door. See the door, move, hang, entrance. What's the entrance? What are you entering once you've walked? Once you got the power that's in your house? Once you got the power, Hawa, that's in your house, you must walk fearlessly. You can't carry fear because the Creator didn't create that. F-E-A-R does not exist. It's an English word. You can't carry it through that door. You have to do what? Himoto se. My fearlessness allowed me to jump in. My fearlessness. What's on the bottom here? Make sure you can get it, man. I want to get all this for you. All right, you see that? My fearlessness allowed me to jump in. Let's go. Motivation. About 15 years ago, I came home from the U.S. with a vibration measuring machine called MRA. Using this, I transformed vibrational information into microclustered water. A special kind of water and created Hado water. Many symptoms caused by illnesses were cured with this water. Over 10,000 people were treated with water. Oh, it sounds insane, right? To give somebody living water and their illnesses go away. It sounds insane to, jump in the water and become 32 again and get your youth back, right? But this is not a myth, this fountain of youth, this water, these crystals. Now, compare that to what they put in your water today with the Flints, and every so-called ghetto and hood got the same damn lead poisoning and bullshit in their water. What happens to the crystal when they pollute it? When they take the crystal away from the water? And yeah, water used to cure you. Water used to cure you. Be water. The concept that water alone could cure was hard to accept for many people, especially medical doctors. Ain't that something? MRA stands for magnetic resonance analyzer. So we got a mimic machine, digging on energy waves, man. We got the Meteor detector, man, again picking up the vibration. Now we got another vibration measuring machine, the magnetic resonance analyzer, MRA. So we're getting real fancy with our technology, man. This particular part, man. But this is part 8, man. This is part 8. What y'all expect? Water's ability to retain information. Again, we're talking crystals. Crystals retain information. The crystals in your trees retain information. The crystal in your computer, the crystal chip, the silica retains information. Water retains information. Water's ability to retain information has already been discussed by certain radical scholars. Wow.
一部の先進的な学者は前から言っていたことなんですけども、まだ証明されていることではなかったんですね。
It had yet to be proven, however, so I racked my brain every day looking for an answer.
これを何とかしたいなと思って毎日何か良い方法はないものだろうかと。
It was a book that triggered Dr. Emoto's interest in the study of frozen water crystals.
I learned that no two snowflakes were identical, which means they all had their own individual signature. just like you. Compare yourself to the snowflake, to the crystal. You are the crystal Adam.
二つとして同じものはないと、まあいう情報があったんです。あ、そうか、雪の結晶。
So I thought, oh, snowflakes. Well, snow is water.
雪も水だ。だから雪に結
If snow has crystals, then water should too when it's frozen.
晶があるんなら水にもそれを凍らせたならばね、結晶があるんではないかとまあ思ったんですね。
This is how our study of frozen water crystals began. We did not, however, achieve instant success.
約2ヶ月ほどそういう
First 2 months were hard, but we knew we could pull it off.
苦労した時間が続きましたけれども、まあ、なんて言うんでしょうね、やっぱりこの絶対できるはずだという執念、それとまた撮影をしてくれた、まあ、石
I got along with Miss Ishibashi, who shot the actual photograph.
橋君というんですが、その人と僕とのコンビネーションが良かったんでしょうね。
Mr. Ishibashi.
まあ、60
Ultimately, about 60 days later, we finally got our first successful shot. So it took 2 months of work. A lot of times we start stuff, we expect instantaneous this and that. We got to continue walking fearlessly. It took them 2 months to get there. Ping, pal, let's go.
10日後ぐらいに初めて撮れたわけです。その時はもう本当に感動いたし
I
ま
was
す。
so moved, I shed tears of joy.
もう涙がもう出るぐらいに嬉しかったですね。ですから、写真集の
This very first photograph is at the beginning of my book, Messages from Water. This is a pure crystal, right? Looking like, snowflake, 6-pointed. I mean, this is really the essence of how they hijacked and abstracted this 6-pointed, you know what I'm saying, Star of David, all that, put it in 3D. You have a hexagonal organic crystal. Hexagonal, just like the trees and the columns of the trees are hexagons, hexagonal. Let's go.
最初の方にその初めて撮れた結晶を紹介して、おりますけれども、もう一生涯忘れられない。
I will never forget this crystal.
Since then, we have gradually expanded our photographic collection while accumulating data. Some of the water we examined showed no crystal formation whatsoever. One such example was tap water.
Tap water.
From what we could observe, beautiful crystals were...
Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look at it. Look at it. Don't turn away. Look at this shit. This is what you've been drinking. This is what you shower in. This is what you bathe in. You don't bathe in living water. You like taking baths. You ain't getting living water. You're getting this bullshit. They've taken your crystals out. They've polluted it to a point where there is no hexagonal organic life. There is no living water. You're not getting healed. Water either heals you or it doesn't.
Rarity.
It's not a game. Same play.
Japan.
Tap water.
This was also the case in certain cities outside of Japan. As we continued our research, we began to discover that certain types of water produced beautiful crystals, while others did not. So, how are the frozen water crystals photographed? We begin by collecting a sample of the water that we want to observe. Here, our researcher is at Shiraito no Taki Falls, a well-known spring on the slopes of Mount Fuji. The tremendous amount of water that precipitates on Mount Fuji travels through the mountain as groundwater. 20 years later, it pours out as spring water here at the Shiraito no Taki Falls, where the water...
So is this a mountain flowing with water or a tree that has been severed, cut down, still maintaining its crystal roots? This is why they pulling the crystals out the mountains when they dig. Crystal roots, crystal brains, crystal roots, crystal skulls, crystal roots, crystal brains, crystal trees, crystal water.
Water flow amounts to more than 100,000 tons per day.
$100,000 tons per day.
Water gushing forth relentlessly from the cliff. In search of water, our researcher is approaching an area just below the fall. He is filling the container with fresh water.
He's getting that pure water, baby. Getting them crystals.
He brings the water back to the Institute as specimen. First, he taps the bottom of the container to activate the water. Then, he squirts 1 milliliter of water onto each petri dish. In order to obtain a more accurate crystallization trend, we create 50 frozen samples of every water specimen. The petri dishes are placed inside a freezer in the laboratory and frozen at minus 25 degrees centigrade. The crystals are then examined inside our laboratory, where the temperature remains at a constant minus 5 degrees centigrade. 3 hours later, we examine the tip of each ice block by illuminating it under a microscope. The crystals start to grow and expand as the temperature of the ice tip rises under the microscope. Usually, however, of the 50 ice blocks that we have to work with, only a few reveal their beautiful hexagonal crystals on camera.
Hexagonal.
What kind of crystal will the water from Shiraito no Taki Falls show us? A beautiful hexagonal crystal with delicate trimmings growing slowly from the 6 points of the hexagonal core.
This is what you used to bathe in. This is what you used to drink. You used to, you know what I'm saying, shower and be, you know, completely, your thirst was quenched by crystals. A crystal needs crystal to survive. You can't eat chips and burgers and hot dogs, man. You need crystals in whatever you do. You need the crystals to exist, to feed your true self, to be your true self. Not what they're trying to make you, not what they're trying to transform you into. They're trying to make you blood-thirsty vampires, low vibrational beings, but you are a high vibrational beings, and this is the frequency of our Creator. Pure water.
one quick moment, our researcher identifies a sparkle and photographs it, all within minutes, while the crystal continues to grow and expand before it returns to its liquid state. A lateral view of the ice block reveals a protrusion at the top. That is because rather than growing two-dimensionally, water crystals grow three-dimensionally from the center of the core out. Unlike tap water, water from natural sources produces a variety of beautiful crystal structures, captivating our eyes. This is water revealing another side of itself. Photographs that capture the unique radiance of water in its crystal form can be our guides into the esoteric world of water.
Could be your guide into comprehending the frequency of the Creator. Now we're just talking water, man. We're just talking a crystal that is alive. So water is retaining information. It has memory. Water has memory because water is living. When they kill it, they give you dead water. They give you dead, massacred, mutilated water. When you have live water, you have living water, you are healed. Everything in existence vibrates. Physics cannot deny this. Again, you just got everything's vibrating. There are no solids, empty space vibrating. So it's all being held together by a sound, a vibration, just like the somatic experiments with the sand on the plate and the sound hits it, or the water hits, or the sound hits the water, forms, this bright, expansion of light. Light is formed. It's all sound. It's all vibration. It's all Hawa. Your Creator, He that forms you with this sound word. The sound is your Father. The sound is your Father. The breath is your mother. Sound is your Father. The breath, that water, is your Mother Earth, your mother, your existence, your nurturement. But the sound is your Father. You put them together. You have life. You have creation.
振動を防ぐということは、物理学の上ではもう誰も否定していないことです。振動というのは別の言葉で
Vibration is just another word for energy.
ならばエネルギーそのものです。で、その振動は
So how does vibration travel? Through water, I believe. Through water, vibration travels. Through the air, which is water. Water comes in many forms, including gas, right? So the air, the vibration, the breath. How does vibration travel? How does your Father travel? Through your mother. Bang! How does vibration travel? This scientist, Dr. Masaru Emoto, gives you all the drop. Through your mother. Through your mem. Your mem, your moving water. Man, we back in that paleo. You have the seed. The seed. You have the sprouting seed. You have your water, which they also say water or blood. Mighty can also wash you up like chaos. Mem. Mama. Mem. Water. It's all in the story of the moving strong water. That is the mother of a house. The mother that's within the house is moving water. Strong water like glue holds it all together. Water. The sprouting seed, continuance. That's the sun, the noon. Joshua, son of Noon, is the heir. They're hijacking their Joshua. Choose your Joshua. And they're hijacking your mother, your mem, your mighty water. Let's go. A few more minutes. Your Father, vibration, He that molds, the sound travels through what? Breath. What do you breathe? Air. What is air? Water. Just like the seed, the sprouting seed must travel through what? Water to reach the egg and create life. How does vibration travel? Through water. Wow.
思うときにそれが水によって運ばれるということを私は確信をしています。で、その水
And the hexagonal crystals represent the life force of Mother Nature. Bring the mother with the sound, with the father. You bring it all together.
が形作る六角形の結晶というものを
Hexagonal
大
crystals.
自然の生命現
Life
象を
force.
表すもの
Living
で
water.
もあるんではないだろうかというふうに思いますね。したがって六角形の結晶が、得られない。
Therefore, the absence of hexagonal crystals, the absence of this organic structure can be seen as a sign. A sign of what? Destruction. Life force absent of the hexagonal crystal. Life force absent of the crystal. Absent of the mother can be seen as a sign of what?
は来世の生命現象も非常にこうなんて言うんでしょうね。
A sign that life forces in that area have been compromised energetically. This is a frequency war, fool. So-called Negro, I'm talking to you. Because they're calling you Negro. They're calling you names, and you're the crystal. You're the life force. You're the seed. You're the sprouting seed. You're the air. You're the continuance. You're the air. You're the continuance. You're the sprouting seed. What is Joshua a sign of? Make sure you can see this sign down here. I know. Come on. Make sure you can see it way down in the bottom left. This cross. What is this cross that they put on plane to make planet? What is this cross? This 2 cross sticks is marked this sign. It's a sign. You are the sprouting seed, the continuance of the vibration, man. Only you of all families have I known, Amos 3. That the life force, without your hexagonal crystal, without your mother, without your framer, without your shaper, your life force in that area has been compromised energetically. It is a frequency war, and they have purposely destroyed you, your energy, have purposely gave you what they're calling a new tune and took away your ancient love song. They have compromised your energy.
少ないというよりか、エネルギー的にね、非常にこの生命力がどんどんと失われているような状態を指している。そんなことがこの8年間の
There is one of these things we have learned over the past 8 years. This is one of these things we have learned over the past 8 years, man.
経験では得られてはきています。
Activate. Activate. Exposing water to music. Listen.
音楽は振動そのものですから。
Music is vibration. Vibration of awareness. 432, the 9. Music is vibration. If we expose water to music, its crystal structure will change. If they expose you to a disharmonic frequency, a separating frequency, your hexagonal crystal structure changes. Why did they program and switch up the tuning in the concert standard pitch of A equals 432 to 440 in 1953 under the International Standards Organization, the ISO, and previously under the British Standard Institute, BSI. They all changed it to 440 in the 50s and the 40s, and they started experimenting with this stuff. Now it comes out of every one of your radios, every one of your TVs, and you don't have no say about it. You hear this Rihanna song and this Bruno Mars, whoever, and he's like, man, nice song, but what frequency is it in? How is it affecting my crystal structure? Will you ask that question? Will you dare ask what frequency, what vibration is this music in? And how am I being exposed to it? How is my water, my crystal, aren't you water? Aren't you water, so-called Negro? How is my crystal, my water being exposed to this music from this business? And what is the intention of this business and the intention they're putting on my crystal structure? How am I changing? By the time I put this in my cochlea, this disharmonic frequency, how am I changing? How is my crystal structure changing? It's not about what you think. It's not about what you think. You can't change the fact that you're water. You can't change your crystal structure until they do it. You're good. You're pure water until they do it. Until they poison you, it changes. When you choose up, you choose your crystal structure. You choose your connection, your frequency with your creator.
その音楽を水に課せることによってその結晶構造が
Knowing the fundamental principles, this should not come as a surprise. Music is vibration.
変わるであろうということは原理原則をしていれば別にその不思議な話ではないね。
How will the crystals change when water is exposed to music? In order to maintain consistency, we use distilled water throughout the experiment.
Now they're going to expose.
This is crystallized water before it is exposed.
They're going to expose water, to different, concerts, different Beethovens and Mozarts. And of course, we know that they've been experimenting. They've been in the 432 frequency. Your instruments that are being pulled up all over the plane are coming out in 432 hertz, many of them. You know what I'm saying? So this is ancient stuff. So we know that they were doing it. Let's skip ahead a little bit, get this dismount on the healing power of music. And I'm going to tell you like this, man, because we're so, focused on our community being, choosing up and being in this frequency, man. For the rest of this entire year, I'm telling you right now, listen up, you hearing this right here, get at me. I'm tuning everybody's music, 50 songs a month for free that get at me. Music at 432, the drop for the rest of the year for free. And if you want to support and do the $5 package, cool, we love you, appreciate it. But straight up, I'm doing it for free for you and for the family, for the tribe, for all those that want to tune up. I want your music libraries in 432 hertz. We're getting out of the disharmonic frequencies. We're getting into the healing power. This is what we're doing for you. All praise our creator. We're in the position to do it, to pass on this particular drop. Let's go. The healing power of music. Get at me. Music at 432thedrop.com and get your 50 songs for free every month. Tune. You just send it to us. Our little private folder we send to you. You put your music in it. We put it back in 432, and we'll keep doing it every month for you. All praise our creator. This is what we're doing for you, for our community. Let's go. I think that music was created to bring our vibration back to its intrinsic state, back to the original, back to the creator. I think music was created to bring our vibration back up to the creator. Not just I like this song, but the frequency is what you're supposed to be giving your listener. You're giving them a frequency. You're supposed to be crystallizing them with the frequency of your music. You're not supposed to be, blasé about the frequency of your music. Your crystal structure matters. Your intrinsic state matters. Your creator matters. Your vibration matters. Vibration awareness matters. That's where it starts. So you hear this doctor in Japan talking about, I think music was created to bring our vibration back to the creator. Now we're tuning it up for free. Let's go.
体の中の振動を本来あるべき振動に戻すためにこの音楽というものは作られてきたと思うんですね。まあ我々日本でも
For example, after World War I, Japan went through a rough period experiencing pain that was hard on its people.
戦後ですね、
World War I, huh?
苦しくて辛くて、日本人ではなければ味わえないような辛い思いがありましたよね。ですから、
That would spawn so many. That's what spawned so many positive songs during that time.
そういう時に起きた歌というのはとっても明るいと思うんですね。やっぱりそれぞれの時代のあるいは地域の歴史が
Each area, each community has its history of its own.
持つ、そしてそれにもたらされた
It's human nature to create music that readjusts the vibration distorted by history. We just talked about the chronology. How does it play? Is it play? We're talking history. We're talking about the distortion of history. We're talking about the failed chronology. We're talking about flamenco. We're talking about the frequency of our creator, the vibration. It's human nature. It's a part of your design to create music that readjusts, that tunes you up, readjusts the vibrations distorted by history. So anything that they distort, it's in your nature to create music to pull you back up. That's why we're able to sing songs. And no matter what we did, we can sing, we can come together. Because by singing, we're in the right frequency. You don't have to tune that up. It's coming out of my vocal cord. You know what I'm saying? It's coming out of my essence. It's 432. And you know when someone's around you that's talking in 440, you look at them like, man, I just got a hijack frequency. But it's in your design to create music that readjusts, that tunes you up above the barrier to the vibration. Readjust all the vibrations distorted by history.
振動の乱れを私たち人類は本能的にですね、それを対応する音楽を作り出しているわけですね。ですから
That's why I'm so certain that music is a form of healing before it is an art. Before you hear it, you should feel it. You should feel the healing of your crystal structure. You should say, I need to know what frequency this song is. And you already know if it's coming out your MP3, if it's coming out your radio, if it's coming out your TV. It's in a distorted frequency. And it's mutilating your crystal structure. It is a frequency war in your energy. The intentions that they're putting on your crystal are destroying you and keeping you away from your intrinsic state, your original state, keeping you away from the pure path, the pure water between you and your creator. And that's why Dr. Masaru Emoto is saying that's why I am certain that music is a form of healing before it is an art. Just like water heals, music heals, because music is water. Choose up, tune up. Let's get a little dismount here, man, Let's get a little dismount, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's get this last paragraph, man. I love y'all, man. This is the frequency of the creator, ancient knowledge, true chronology, part 8. I just want to kind of belly flop this little part right quick. Alright, between the various datings of such an important event as the founding of Rome, historians have a discrepancy of at least 500 years. This affects appreciably the dating of a large number of documents which record the calculation of years from the founding of Rome, the city, for example, Livy's well-known history. As is known to any schoolboy, Mesopotamia, the city between two rivers, is considered one of the most ancient centers of civilization. However, around the list of kings, which was compiled by the Sumerian priests, a more complex situation has been created than with the Roman chronology. It was, in a way, the skeleton of a history similar to our chronological tables, but there was little use from such a list. The chronology of the list of kings, wrote the well-known archaeologist Leonard Woolley, on the whole, is clearly meaningless. The chronology of the list of kings on the whole is clearly meaningless. The succession of the dynasties was established arbitrarily. Leonard Woolley would have to have been able to add that the randomness is in general a distinguishing feature. It's just random, cut up, sliced and diced. A distinguishing feature, the randomness of the generally accepted chronology. Take that very same grand Alexander the Great, a favorite around the world. Strange things occurred with him, close to mystic in the medieval chronicles. He speaks fair words for France. During the military leaders' funeral, monks with crosses and incensaries attended. Just when did he live and die? Who is this guy? Who is Prester John? And was he on this world in general? If one is to judge by the compositions of the medieval authors, the legends with many of other heroes also are not all in order. Catiline attends Mass. Orpheus is the contemporary of Aeneas. Sardanapal is the king of Greece, and Julian the Apostate is the papal chaplain. Contemporary chronologists are not able to explain how such a jumble of names arose, and therefore they have to adhere to the opinion that everything in this world obtains a fantastic coloration. The choruses and anachronisms, and the strangest fabrications get along peacefully. So the choruses, anachronisms, and the strangest fabrications get along peacefully. In other words, medieval authors everywhere were ignoramuses and visionaries whom it is impossible to believe one iota. In other words, medieval authors and chronographers like Scaliger and Petavius everywhere were ignoramuses and visionaries whom it is impossible to believe one iota. You see, if one believes them, then one must admit that so-called antiquity, as a matter of fact, was the present for the compilers of the medieval chroniclers. If one believes them, then one must admit that so-called antiquity, as a matter of fact, all that randomness, all those phantoms and duplicates, you must admit them to be factual, was a present for the compilers of the medieval chroniclers, man. Like, that's just a present. You're just giving them a gift. This threatens surprising consequences for traditional scientists and even for the whole structure of modern history. So it is far safer and comfortable to explain the medieval chronologists as semi-illiterate amateurs who confuse various eras